Welcome to everybody's favorite Saturday podcast. This is the Mack and Black podcast. I am Nick Russell, better known as El Oso Negro. On the other side of the glass, somewhere in the Midwest, I'm just kidding, in the Chicagoland area, is Mack. What's going on, bro? Welcome back.
Yeah, what's good, man? Thanks again for holding it down while I was gone. I was traveling this beautiful country, including, the Illinois-Iowa border. You would never know that there was people or just any living things on the Illinois-Iowa border, but I promise you there's things I can confirm. I'm back here to confirm that there are living things on the Illinois-Iowa border. But yeah, thanks again for
now
holding it down.
when you say Illinois-Iowa border, are we talking like Des Moines, like from Rock Island to Des Moines?
I'm not familiar with the area, but I was in Princeton. So Princeton, Illinois, it's around, I would say, 20 miles from the border. The only other thing that I think is around is Ottawa, Illinois. I can tell you.
Yeah, that's so okay. Yeah, I kind of got an idea where you're at.
Yeah,
because I used to frequent when I used to go to this church camp called Leadership Lab, and they used to hold it at Augustana College, which is the Lutheran college in Moline, Rock Island, whichever one it is.
So yeah, this
Moline,
is very close to Moline. So yeah, right in that area. Yeah.
So I'm familiar. Yeah. Dude,
I didn't do much tourist activity. If you could probably tell me I didn't do much tourist activity. There wasn't like sightseeing or anything like that. It was like, let me get back to the hotel and eat this shitty Domino's pizza. So,
hey,
but yeah.
Bro, hey, you know what, man? I'm gonna take small offense to that. Okay.
I'm sorry. I know. You know what? I like Domino's. That's the only reason why I ate it, but it was shitty, and it was shitty that weekend. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I like Domino's.
Domino's kind of slaps, bro.
They changed their game a few years ago. You
feel me? I'm not saying it's great. Not saying it's amazing.
It's there.
But when it's there, bro, Domino's can slap, bro.
No,
I used to hate on Papa John's for the longest, and then, when Shaq took over and made that Shaq pizza, I was like, this is not the same Papa John's as when Papa John was running Papa John's.
After Papa John said a bunch of racist shit, he went out, and then they're like, you know what, maybe we should just make the pizza better. Let's just, let's focus on making this stuff better. So yeah, no, they stepped up their game. All pizza chains. I mean, honestly, I had Pizza Hut the other day for I know my family likes Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut's kind of slapping too, man. I don't know. I'm kind of an easy eater, to be quite honest. I'm just like, you, when I'm hungry, I'm just gonna scarf it down. So I don't have too much
fair
critique.
enough. And you know what? It's been a while since I've been to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
So maybe I do need to pay him like one small visit sometime.
I was pleasantly surprised.
I have to jump in here, guys, for a second, because as I was watching the stream and you were talking about Domino's, a Domino's banner ad popped up right over.
Zuckerberg was like, you know what? Let's throw.
They're listening. They're watching.
Let's throw something into the timeline.
Hey, Domino's, I want that advertisement money. Oh, by the way,
I was gonna say, while you're at it, you might as well fucking sponsor us at this point.
You know
we just gave you guys free press.
They're definitely watching.
All right, Domino's. So holla at me though, because I sure did just order like 2 weeks ago on that 49% off promo. You know,
yeah.
So
sorry about what I said earlier.
Check right quick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cut us the check, and I'll apologize officially for what I said. But
exactly.
yeah, Nick.
All right, well, we got a lot of things to talk about because we had our first NBA sweep today as the defending. We have a new representative of the Eastern Conference this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this year, as the Miami Heat got feverishly swept by the Milwaukee Bucks. They lost 121 to 103 today. And here's the crazy part about this game, right? Like today, I'm watching it, and at halftime, the Heat had a nice little, I don't know, like 8-point lead. I think it was 62-54. So I'm like, okay, the Heat looked like they came to play. So I then went to go watch SmackDown. And then SmackDown got so good that I almost totally forgot that the game was on. And then the next thing I knew, the Milwaukee Bucks learned how to shoot again. Yeah. And Giannis was trusting everybody else, because what Giannis did today and the Milwaukee Bucks did today will segue into what I think the Knicks need to do have no choice to do tomorrow, and it needs to start sooner than later, is that Giannis, they were double teaming and coming after Giannis. So Giannis was like, okay, I'm going to trust my teammates to hit shots.
Yep.
Next thing you know, the Milwaukee Bucks are raining threes, and the Miami Heat had no answer.
Yeah.
And then every time it seemed like the Heat were about to catch a little fire in the fourth, the Milwaukee Bucks had an answer at will. So Giannis has himself a triple-double. Chris Middleton had himself a game. How about the addition of what Drew Holiday brings to the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah.
So talent. So here's the thing about Milwaukee. A lot of people have coined them to be the team that could beat the Brooklyn Nets in the finals and represent the East. I'm not against that. But the only disadvantage I have with the Bucks is I still don't trust Mark Budenholzer.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've seen a guy who's taken many top 3 East teams and continuously get out coached.
Yep.
So yeah, okay, you swept the Miami Heat. Great. Guess what? You were better than they were supposed to be.
Right.
Okay, that's cool. But in the same breath, let me see you take on now. You would have to face the winner. You were 3-6. So you would have to face the winner of 2-7, which could end up being Brooklyn.
Yep.
So let me see Budenholzer get past the Brooklyn Nets first, and then I'll give him some props. But until then, I wouldn't put all my chips in that Bucks basket, because I feel like you're going to get disappointed because Mark Budenholzer's resume isn't really that great in the playoffs.
No, you're spot on. I mean, what like as an NBA fan, you have to watch them prove you wrong before you start to give them the benefit of the doubt. And like specifically for the Bucks and Budenholzer, you mentioned it. Like those Atlanta teams were always top 3, top 4 in the East. And he won I think he won a coach of the year with them. And just it never translates in the playoffs. But I think you probably would agree that I think this is more about this series was more about the Heat than it was the Bucks, right? I think the Heat, first of all, we gave a lot of credit last year to Pat Riley and the job that he did to assemble the team that he did. I think it's probably fair for us to give him a little bit of criticism over the team building of this year and what they did at the deadline, knowing they had a real good shot at Harden, knowing that they had a real good shot at some of these other big players that ended up going elsewhere, and all they had to show for it was Victor Oladipo, a rental, and that basically was a 10 game long experiment. didn't. So
Right.
so really, in terms of what happened, I agree with you. I'm not ready to crown the Bucks quite yet. Also, I think I also want to say that I think I was pretty wrong about what I was saying about Drew Holiday and what they gave up for Drew. I thought, man, that was a lot to give up for a guy who really never he never showed a lot of what he's showing right now in New Orleans. And that was really the thing that had me sort of, I think a knee-jerk reaction was like maybe this wasn't the best deal for the Bucks. But when he showed up, first of all, he makes a really good 1-2 with Giannis, and I think that's really crucial for the Bucks because they haven't had that. Like they haven't had like a bona fide number 2 for him because Middleton is always sort of he's off and on, he's hot and cold. So yeah, I think in terms of like there wasn't much strategy, right? Like it's not like the Bucks were like tactically better than the Heat. The Heat were just severely shorthanded. And let's be honest, like they didn't want to trade Hero. They didn't want to trade Duncan Robinson for one of these big superstars. I think that was the one thing that held
James
up the
Harden was supposed to be the big piece.
That was supposed to be, hey, you're going to give us one of Duncan Robinson or Tyler Hero, and those two were sort of untouchable in the minds of Pat Riley, and you see what happens, So with the Heat, James Harden with the Heat, we might have seen I don't know if the Heat win the series, but we definitely would have seen a more competitive series. And also I think the bubble last year was pretty tricky, Nick. It's hard for us to look at what happened in the bubble last year and use it now as a barometer for what's happening now. So right. I don't agree with people who are like, oh, the Heat are lucky, they didn't have the bubble, this and that. No, I just think it was like one of those circumstances where the Heat were the last team to go down last year in the bubble, and they didn't put up much of an effort against the Lakers. Let's be honest. I mean, there's a couple of moments of resistance, but otherwise the Lakers really handled themselves last year in the bubble. So yeah, I think the East now though, and to take this back to the Bucks, I think it's really big now for the Bucks here to come out in the next series and not only protect home court if they have it, which I don't think they will because it'll be Brooklyn likely, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but they've got to take care of business at home because it seems like right now on the road that was their Achilles heel the last couple of years, is just not really being able to handle the road. And with the fans being back, I think that's something that's worth looking at. So yeah, and also, I mean, let's be honest, the Heat. Jimmy Butler right now is sort of, on his own sort of island in Miami, and there wasn't, Bam had not been playing to his ability, and, that's what happens. So, they'll probably regroup and come back with a stronger team next year. I would imagine making more drastic moves, but that's definitely got to be disappointing if you're a Miami fan.
I got Kevin Knox.
Mm-hmm.
I got the 19th pick.
Mm-hmm.
I got Dallas's 21st pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to sweeten the pot, because, Tibbs don't like playing kids no way.
Yeah.
I got the 32nd pick. All for buckets right now.
Man.
Bro. Taj Gibson looks better in the Knicks uniform.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose has rejuvenated his career.
Yep.
Could you imagine if buckets made his way? I'm overthinking, and it's not gonna happen.
No, but I also think that what you're talking about is worth merit. Like maybe it's not realistic in the real world, but like, man, and we can jump into the Knicks too, because what you're seeing in this series now is that Julius is sort of ball dominant right now, and when things don't go well with Julius, the team really has a hard time backing that up and finding that option for them. So if you could bring somebody in like Jimmy, who could be, first of all, facilitator, he could be the guy that has the ball in his hands, and he can be the guy that Julius pivots to if you still want to use Julius as a point forward. But obviously I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on this because obviously it's been disappointing for the Knicks, not necessarily because they're losing the games, but more so because, first of all, the defense has struggled, and defense is sort of the bread and butter of this team. And defensively, they just haven't been kind of what you're used to seeing. What is your diagnosis? Because obviously, from like an outsider's perspective, you look at these games and you say Julius is having bad games, and it's just very easy for you to pin it on him. And
the whole let's start Derrick Rose thing clearly didn't work in game 3.
Yeah.
Why? Because the rapport for Derrick Rose is him coming off the bench. It's not him as a starter. So bringing in Derrick Rose as a starter, you could see it from a mile away after Derrick Rose started the third quarter in game 2, but it wasn't the right move. The right move that I think Thibodeau should have done and maybe needs to do tomorrow is start Frank Ntilikina. You have a defensive point guard who's long enough to stay in front of Trae Young. Elfrid Payton is not it. Offensively, he's lost. Defensively, he's okay. But when you're starting both Payton and Nerlens Noel, you're literally going 3-on-5 when it comes offensively because you're not afraid of either one of those guys. Frank, I'm not saying is Trae Young scoring-wise in no way, shape, or form. They're not even in the same stratosphere, let alone in the same building.